All right, we're going to go ahead and kick this off right on time because we want to make sure we have enough time for the content that we want to cover with you and make sure you know what this is about. So, first of all, thank you guys for joining this call today. This is our interim HISIG SMDP. Don't mind the spelling. I'm still working on my spelling capabilities. Application overview. My name is Alfred Ojuka, and I'm super excited to have you guys here. But first, just want to ask you guys to just give a quick thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Thumbs up or a heart if you can hear me okay. You should be able to use the signs and the signals. Great. That means you got the message and you have the information in front of you. So anything that we share that you like and you think it's great, just give us a quick thumbs up. If it's something that doesn't make sense, still give us a quick thumbs up. And we like hearts as well. So a couple of housekeeping. We do have Teams and audio. Most of you guys are disabled on audio and video, but we can still use the chat communication. So just really quickly, if you have a second, just chat in the window where you're coming from, so we know who's here. Just let us know maybe the city and state that you're in. Like I'm from Dallas or I'm in Stamford, Connecticut. That's where I'm at. But we always like to know where you're from, so we know where you're coming in from. So we really appreciate you taking the time to show up and be a part of our discussion. As mentioned before, we are the NSBE HISIG community, and we are excited to have you here as part of the NSBE story. Again, our mission is to basically drive an increased number of culturally responsibly Black engineers who excel academically to succeed professionally and positively impact the community. So you'll see a lot of that today. And we're hoping as we go into this content today, you'll get really excited and understand why SMDP is such an important program and how it actually aligns with the vision of what HISIG has to do. As far as an agenda today, we're going to basically go through just a quick HISIG overview with one of our founding members, John Thomas. We're going to do an introduction to the SMDP leadership, and then we'll walk through maybe a form completion process. We'll talk to some of the graduates of the SMDP program. We'll answer any questions or comments that you might have, and then we'll just give you insight of who's actually putting those shows together. I love that Alfred from Denver. There's another Alfred. This is great. Two Alfreds. And then lastly, we'll share some upcoming events and then other ways to stay connected because we think it's important for you to stay connected. How many of you guys, just raise a hand, how many of you guys got this message through LinkedIn? I just want to see by raise of hands. And hopefully you guys know how you use the raised hand feature. Okay. We're just trying to get an idea of how people are actually finding this information. It's important. And how many people, go ahead, put your hands down. I see two. How many people got this through through email? Just raise your hand. Awesome. So email's working and LinkedIn's working. That's great. I won't say Instagram. We do post on Instagram, but we're going to save that for later. If it's Instagram, that's great. But just for the sake of time, I am going to pass it over to my founding director emeritus, John Thomas, to give you guys some insight on what healthcare is quickly is and why we do this in SB HiSig. So, Jonathan, John.
Thank you, Alfred. Good evening and good night to all of the NSBE collegiate and professional members that have taken the time to join HISIG in the wake of a successful NSBE 2025 convention and 50th anniversary. I'm John Thomas. I'm the founding director for NSBE's Healthcare Innovation Group. A mechanical engineer by undergrad, biomedical by overgrad, and I'm delighted to share with you HISIG's mission, vision, and care strategy. The mission of the Healthcare Innovation Group is to promote the development and implementation of innovations that will improve diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of injury, illness, and disease. Our vision is to be the most trusted ecosystem for technical expertise and solutions to complex problems impacting the Black and Brown communities. How do we achieve the mission and vision? It's through our care strategy, and care is an acronym for connecting, advancing, recruiting and retaining, and educating and exposing. As Alfred had made mention, this is really a webinar offering aligned with HISIG's mission and vision to support both your professional development and advancement, connecting you with other professionals and programs that will advance your career, as well as supporting your education to expose you to these opportunities and how they can benefit you both professionally and personally. Over to you, Alfred.
Awesome. Thank you, John, for sharing that. And again, you'll hear more about that towards the end. Without further ado, we want to make sure we give enough time for our guest of honor, who, if you guys were at NSBE 50, you would have heard her remarks around the SMDP program. I'm super excited to invite to the floor Dustin Savage, who's the program director for the International Center for Professional Development. So without further ado, please give a round of applause. You can use the clap feature for Miss Dustin Savage.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me. I'm loving the applause. That's the cutest thing. I am going to share with you what SMDP is, and I'm going to do it rather quickly because I want to make sure that we have time for Q&A, and I want to make sure I allow time for our alumni to speak about what the program was like for them, because I think that's probably more valuable than anything I can tell you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and hopefully, I'll be able to do it properly. Y'all just bear with me for a minute. I don't use Teams that often, I'm going to be honest. Let's try. Let's try this and see if it worked. Let me see.
And we need a
Can you guys see?
Drum rolls. Drum rolls. Ta-da.
Did it work?
Yep.
You do? Oh, you do see the presentation now?
You see the full screen.
Yep. Okay, perfect. So what is SMDP? SMDP stands for the Scholar Mentoring and Development Program. It is one of the many programs that we have at ICPD. I am Dusty Lynn Savage. As they said, I serve as the program director. I've been with the company for 12 years. I love this. It's not a job. It's a blessing in my life. That's how I look at it. On this first slide, what you're going to see are all of our sponsor companies. So we are a nonprofit. So we do receive our financial support from our sponsor companies, and this is also where your mentors will come from. So this is a 1-year-long mentoring program where you'll have a one-to-one mentorship, but this is where if you look at all these names, this is where all of our mentors come from. It's also where our financial support comes from, so that there is no cost to you when you participate in the program. We have two. We have one that is geared towards biotech, which is like biopharma, and one that is geared more towards medtech, which is medical devices. So think of those of you that are more on the engineering side. Some of you are doing engineering that could go one or the other, like could go both ways, and that's fine. You can apply to both, but you'll only be accepted into one. And then some of you will be definitely, you're like, nope, medical devices, that's for me. You'll see the dates. Even though it's virtual, we do kick it off in person. And so SMDP Biotech is going to be in Boston, June 14th through 19th. And then October 3rd through 8th in sunny San Diego, California, is where SMDP MedTech will be. So what it is we pair economically disadvantaged students that are you could be undergrad all the way through postdoc and early career. And as I said, you'll get paired up with a senior executive from one of those sponsor companies. After we kick it off in person, it will be virtual. Your minimum requirement is to meet once a month with your mentor. Some meet twice a month. It's up to you and your mentor, but the minimum required is once a month, so it won't take you away from your studies or your labs or anything like that. You'll come out in person. We kick it off with a training session, and I'll talk about that more in a minute of what you're going to do in the training session. And then like I said, for the rest of the time, it is going to be virtual. There's 3 main constituents of SMDP that help make up the program, and that's scholars, mentors, and our sponsors. So I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on that. But again, I'm not going to spend too much time there because I want to show you the actual application process in case you have any questions. These next couple slides are just some of the universities that we've worked with over the years. It actually needs to be updated quite a bit. So if you don't see your university, don't cry. It's probably there. Skip this first slide. So scholars, they are a very important part of SMDP. Without them, we would not have a program. Same thing with our mentors and our sponsors. But for the scholars, what you're going to learn is you're going to get to learn what is industry all about, whether that's the biotech or medtech. The training is virtually the same. The difference is at the end of the in-person training, you get to attend a major industry conference. So for SMDP Biotech, you're going to attend Bio International. And for SMDP MedTech, you're going to attend the MedTech conference. All of your costs are covered for all of that, and we take care of that registration for you. So, but when in the in-person training, what you're going to learn is, what does industry look like? What are the different career paths that are in industry? What is the trend and the R&D coming down the pipeline? You're going to hear from our mentors, like how they got from where you guys are now to the position that they're in now as like a senior VP. They're going to share that with you. We also do soft skills. I like to call them the nuts and bolts because you can take them anywhere. Those are things like your elevator pitch, your resume, your social media branding, how to network. We go over all of that with you. As a matter of fact, your resume session and your social media session, we do as primers before you come in person. That way you can tweak things before you even get to meet your mentor and before you're at Bio International or the MedTech Conference. Those are very, very big. Like, I'm assuming most of you have hopefully been able to attend NSBE in person. And think about that times at least 10, if not 100. It is massive. It is huge. They are business oriented. It's not, you're not going to be doing interviews there really, but you will see every company on the face of the planet pretty much that either is in biotech or medtech. Every country that has biotech and medtech in it, they'll all be there and you'll get to interact with them. You Everything is included as far as like your hotel, we take care of the meals while you're there for the most part. During the SMDP training, we definitely take care of your food. Once you get to the conference, there's meals all throughout the conference. So you could go without spending a dime. But that's up to you and how much you like to eat. And then we give a $500 reimbursement to you about 2 months after the in-person training that you can put towards plane, train, automobile, however you got there. So that is, you can put it towards whatever you want. If you live in Boston and you're selected for the biotech program and you don't need a plane, then you can put that $500 towards your coffee, your Ubers, I don't care. But you will have to have at least met with your mentor the first time, like a month after the program, and then upload what we call a personalized mentoring plan, which is what you work with your mentor. So that is what you're going to start working with during the in-person training. And that gets you to think about, where do you want to be 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 6 months from now? And that's going to be the plan that you're going to work on with your mentor for the next year. Which brings me to our mentors. Our mentors are amazing. They're all volunteer. They're not voluntold. They're not doing it to get a promotion. They're doing it because they have a heart for bringing diversity, if you will, to the industries. And so you're going to be paired up with a mentor. The way we do that, I always make the joke that we put scholars' names in one hat, mentors' names in another hat, and we draw, but that's not how we do it. We put a ton of time and thought and consideration into who you get paired up with. You do not get to pick your mentor, nor does your mentor get to pick you. You guys will all find out on Sunday morning who you're paired up with. So they don't know either. They're just as excited to find out who you are. The mentors they get just as much out of this program as you guys do. They're not there to make mini versions of themselves. They're there to help you on your career path. If halfway through the program you decide, oh, you know what, I didn't know about regulatory affairs and that's the direction I want to go now, they're going to pivot with you. They're not going to tell you, oh, no, you have to do what we started out with. They're also not there to hire you. Most of the time you will not go to work for your mentor's company. Some do, but most of the time your mentor's from Johnson & Johnson, and maybe you'll go work at Lilly or you'll go work at Amgen, things like that. Why do they do it? Like I said, they all have a heart for this program. We've been around 20 years, over 20 years for the biotech program, and about 13 for the medtech. So we kind of know what we're doing. We're pretty good at it. 83% of our scholars end up going to work in the industry, which is a great number. But they get to work on their mentoring skills and how to identify top talent. They also get to interact with their industry peers who they normally don't get to interact with. So that's why our mentors do it. Our sponsors, I'm not going to spend a ton of time here, although we could not have our program at all without our sponsor companies. So we love them. I'm just going to point out a couple of the bullets. The first one being the main reason why they participate in SMDP. And that is because their talent acquisition will get access to the top tier of economically disadvantaged talent from not only our current programs, but all of our alumni programs. So what that means is when you become a part of SMDP, you're a part of the SMDP family for life. You will get access to our SMDP portal. which is like Facebook and LinkedIn smushed together. And that has not only your current cohort of scholar mentors, but all the ones prior from the last 20 years. So they are going to they have access to you, so they can go do searches. If they're looking for someone in biomedical engineering, they can go do a search for it. There's a job board on there where they post jobs for sometimes just our scholars, sometimes they're general jobs, but they know that our scholars are vetted because they've already been through a vigorous selection process. So they'll post it on there. Some of the companies have it that if you apply for a job through the portal, it takes your application from down here, puts it at the top of the pile because, again, they know that you're vetted. Another reason is it helps keep a more heterogeneous technical workforce. So those are all reasons and things of why our sponsor company participates. So this is my contact information. I'm not done. Don't worry. Like I said, I want to hurry up and get to the application portion, but I'll leave it up there for just a second. If you guys want to take a picture, feel free to reach out to me by email. You can also text me. You can call me. And then now I'm going to see if hopefully my screen will change. This is our main SMDP page, smdp.programs.org. This is where you're going to register. You can either apply for the biotech or medtech. The application process is the exact same. It's going to take you 5 minutes to fill it out, 10 if you type really slow. But we do ask for a resume, a narrative, and 2 letters of rec. But the application itself is super, super simple. I'm going to show you the differences. When you click on apply for biotech, what you're going to see up at the top here, please hear me. These are some, but not all. That's why it says not limited to the disciplines that are very common within the biotech program. Again, if yours is not on here, don't panic. You can still apply. It's just these are the more popular ones, I guess. We're adding to it all the time. Deadline is April 4th, which is coming up very quickly, but I believe that if you apply, that you will be able to get your supporting docs in, and you can fill out the application without the supporting docs. That way I at least know you're applying, and I can help you over the next couple of weeks, like make sure like, hey, I'm still missing your letter, or I got everything but your resume. So please, please, if you're interested in applying, go ahead and fill out the application now. And then that way we can stay in touch up until the deadline, and we can make sure you get everything in. If you don't put your application in because you're waiting, it happens every year, April 5th, I'm going to get a phone call. I'm going to get an email that says, hey, Dusty, I was so busy, because y'all are busy. You have a lot going on in your lives. And I'll get that email that says, hey, I forgot to submit. Can I still submit? And I'm going to say, absolutely, for next year's program. So please don't miss that deadline. Get the application in now. That way you're on my radar. With the resume, you'll see we ask you to include your education, technical skills, relevant experience, accomplishments, leadership, list of publications if you have any. It is not bad if you are not published. Do not worry about it. It does not go against you. 2 letters of recommendation, one from a faculty member in your field of study is preferred, and one from your faculty advisor or PI. If your PI is not supportive, get someone else to write it. It does not have to be your PI, or if your faculty advisor is not supportive, just get someone that can speak to who you are, the type of person you are, your study skills, your work skills, your ethics, like that type of thing, why SMDP would benefit from having you in the program, and why you would benefit from SMDP. Not your mama, not your next door neighbor, someone that is within the university or within the career department or IMSD, even someone from NSBE HISIG. If you have someone that knows you very well, like a mentor, have them write it. And then a personal narrative. The personal narrative, you can see we even tell you no more than 2 pages and single spaced. My advice to you is do not just regurgitate what is on your resume. Please let us see a little bit of your heart and your reasoning as to why you want to go into industry. We don't do interviews, so this is how we get to know you. This is how the selection committee gets to know you. So make sure that, yes, you include your long-term career goals, your academic goals, your research focus, all of that, but really put in there why having a mentor and why going into industry is important. So this is the easy part. This is the part that I told you will take you 5 minutes. All we ask for is your name. You do have to be able to work in the United States without needing a visa or sponsorship. That's what these questions are all about. Your highest degree earned, your field of study, the degree you're pursuing, expected degree completion date. That's why it says expected. We know it could change. Just give us a rough idea. The rest of it is like addresses, phone numbers, things like that. Have you been a former scholar, your gender, your ethnicity, economically disadvantaged, underrepresented, and how did you hear about SMDP? So if you actually have heard about SMDP from an alum, please put their name down because we do give them some recognition. If it's NSBE HISIG, put that. If it's myself, put that. But if you did talk to an alum, please put their name down. Your advisor, don't worry, we don't contact them. We just collect the information. And then this is where you can add your supporting docs. So that's the application. Like I said, it is super, super simple. The MedTech one, when you click it, you're going to see the difference here. The only difference is going to be at the top where the disciplines are. So as you can see, lots of engineering, packaging, process, mechanical, chemical engineering. Well, actually, chemical engineering is not on here, but it is one. We have robotics and sensing, that type of thing. So that's the only difference in the application is what's listed at the top. But again, that is just part of it. It is not all of them. It's just some of them. So I think that was probably the fastest I have ever talked about SMDP.
You're doing great.
Am I doing okay? I'm trying.
Yeah, there was a
So hard to
question in
cover
the
all this
chat
stuff.
though. It was the
Oh, there was.
question was
Okay.
about have you been a scholar? The question about have you been a scholar? What does that mean exactly?
Okay, so have you been a scholar means have you been an SMDP scholar before? And the reason why we ask that is because you can only technically go through the training once. But remember when I said you're a part of the SMDP family for life because you have access to all of that. So I will say one of the biggest, the benefit is you get this one-on-one amazing mentorship, plus you get the support of all the SMDP staff. But your network is going to explode exponentially when you become part of the SMDP family because your network just you got to remember we've had this program, it's been around for 20 years. So if you're like, oh, I'm a mechanical engineer and I want to talk to someone else that's a mechanical engineer or that went to my school, you can do a search on the portal and pull them up and reach out and be like, hey, I'm a fellow SMDP scholar. And they'll reach out to you. Even the mentors will reach out to you. So even though you have that one-on-one with your mentor, you have access to all other mentors as well, and they're more than happy to reach out to you. You do not have to currently be in school. I see that question. That's fine. You can apply if you're in between. It's okay. You can apply if you're done. You can apply if you're postdoc. So I want to go ahead and pass it over to, we have two alum here. We have Raven Osborne, who is currently working at Eli Lilly, and we have Matthew Shirley, who is here, who's currently working at Insight, and they've gone through the program recently. So I would like them to talk about their experience because your questions might be geared more for them, not me so much. So I don't know who wants to go first. Are they here? I know they're here. I saw their names earlier.
Why don't we? Oh, we have to promote them. There we go. There you go.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is Matthew, Dusty, if you can't see.
Hey, Matthew.
Hey. I'll go first. I'm not sure where Raven is, but
I'm going to share your slide, Matthew, so that people know who you are. So
I have a slide.
You do. You can keep talking. Sorry.
Okay. They were fancy like that. They made you a slide, Matthew.
Yeah, I had to. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so I am a 2024-2025 SMDP scholar, so technically still a scholar right now, but during my process, just to not completely repeat what Dusty said, got paired with a mentor, and through that mentorship that started in the summer, he basically, like, in that mentorship, we talked about a plan, we gathered our personal mentorship plan, and we met. I think we were, as Dusty said, once a month. That turned into 2 or 3 times a month just because I was on the way out of my PhD program and I was looking for, how can I improve my, let's just say, stock for going into the workforce, because it's about that time, I was about to defend. And then fortunately, as that ball was rolling, I ended up talking to people in the industry, and fortunately that eventually led to to be mindful of time. That eventually led to me talking to the right person who was actually looking to start this program, which I'm now in at Insight as the initial development operations rotational associate, which is completely outside of what I was doing in the lab during my PhD or in the wet lab experience. But they saw, or they were willing to basically invest in continuing my growth outside of the lab at Insight. And fortunately, and I've been working at Insight since December now, finished up or defended my degree in September. And so thus far, I mean, and then as I said, I'm still an SMDP scholar, so I still meet with my mentor regularly, except our conversations are different now, whereas before it was about making sure that, like how does my resume look? Am I looking at jobs? Just things related to, okay, so what is the next step? And now it's like, okay, well, how do I take advantage of where I'm at now and moving forward, going down the line? So it's my experience in this program, and I haven't even talked about that week, that the training and then the conference. That's a whole other conversation, ball game. If you have questions about that, I can answer them. But that was a great experience, and now I'm basically on this side in industry as an introduction to myself.
Hey, Matthew, question for you. In terms of the application process, because that's what a lot of people are going to be trying to walk through, how difficult was that?
So you see how Dusty went through this application process in probably like a couple minutes. That's how easy it was. I mean, it's the hardest part for me was making sure that I was aligning my not only my personal narrative, but my recommenders and my resume to make sure I was reflecting that interest in industry. For me, I was coming out of a doctorate program. It was heavily academia based, but there's a way to tailor your resume and things like that so that it is more industry focused. However, the program has experience with recruiting talented academic individuals who haven't had that industry experience. I wouldn't worry too much about that at this point getting into the program, which is why I say the program is the application process was pretty straightforward. The Just make sure that personal narrative definitely reflects yourself and your interest in industry and what you can bring to the program and how the program can benefit you. And the other advice, personal advice that I would give is if your recommenders are, as they're, writing your recommendation for you, you can also try to ask them to speak to certain things about you within your recommendation letters that they might have experience with.
That's really helpful. Thank you. There's one other question, and I'll ask it, and maybe it might be for you, Matthew, it might be for Dusty. Is SMDP open to non-STEM majors in biotech space, more regulatory?
As long as you're wanting to do regulatory in industry, in the biotech or medtech industry. If it's just general regulatory, no. You have to be wanting to go into the biotech or medtech industries. Hopefully that helped.
Yep, and is that list of different majors that I think you showed that at one point, or maybe it's on the website.
I don't know if regulatory affairs is on there, but we do, like, we take people that are regulatory affairs or want to go into clinical affairs or medical science liaisons. Like we do. You just have to be wanting to do those things within biotech and medtech, because obviously you can go have regulatory affairs at any type of company. So they're gonna look and make sure that you want to do it for biotech or medtech.
Excellent. Matthew, great content. Any questions for Matthew while he's up here? Oh, another question just popped in. Look, Matt, you're getting all the questions, huh?
Let's see.
Would you recommend applying as you transition out of school, or is it equally beneficial? I'm an undergraduate senior, but would like to further my education at some point and make an impact in the medtech industry.
Sorry if y'all heard that alarm. I'm in a city. So what I would say is that, as an example, when I got into the program as someone that trying to finish up my degree and everything. I'd seen emails come through about the program before for like 2 or 3 years. And my current opinion now is that I wish I would have applied for the program 2 or 3 years before, probably when I was at the beginning or at the middle of my tenure. Just because not only was it helpful for me as I transitioned out of academia, but I just think to myself, what would that process have been like if I had this community, had this training 2 years, 3 years before I left? Like it would have been, I can already see the difference that it could have made as far as, setting things up. I mean, I'm not going to, fortunately, I was able to, take advantage of the opportunity I received at the time that I did get in. However, you definitely can apply earlier.
Yeah, that's true. I think that that's a really good answer to that question. We have people that already postdocs that go through this program, and it's just as beneficial. I mean, obviously, if you're a freshman or a sophomore and you're just starting out, that I think might be a little too early. But especially if you're wanting to go into the med tech industry, I think being an undergrad senior is a great time because, like Matthew said, like you could go into industry and be working. I understand that you might want to further your education. You might get into your job and realize, no, I don't, that I'm completely happy here. Or I don't know, maybe the company helps further your education, and it's the company, not you. So I think that's, I tell people no matter where they're at, undergrad all the way through postdoc and even some early career, to please go ahead and apply because you just never know. I've seen PhDs not get into the program and an undergrad get into the program. So it's just they don't PhDs and postdocs do not automatically get precedence over undergrads. Just please know that, if that helps.
Awesome. Should we bring on Raven as well so she can share?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I
Raven,
see another question in the chat, but I think Raven should probably
yeah,
share
let's
hers, and then they should both answer that one question.
exactly. Exactly. So Raven, if you're available,
Hello, can you guys hear me?
we can.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Yep, we hear you.
perfect. Yeah. Hello, my name is Raven Osborne. I'm an advisor at Eli Lilly and Company. I went to the University of Rochester where I did immunology and computational biology. Graduated with my PhD in, I think, like August of 2024, and I was a part of 2023. Oh my goodness. And I was a part of the 2023-2024 SMDP cohort. I'll say for myself, I didn't know anything about SMDP before I applied. I think I found out a couple weeks before. I just saw it on LinkedIn. I applied, and at the kickoff, literally the first day, I'm sitting next to VP from this company and senior director at this company, and I got back to my hotel room that night, and I literally, like, I cried because I'm like, my life just changed. I know it did. And I said it then, and I did not realize how much I was right. So my mentor was from Pfizer, not Lilly. So again, like how Dusty was saying, like it's not necessarily, the person that you're paired up with is going to be like the place that you work. But I will say, because of the program, I had the opportunity to, meet with my mentor, her colleagues. I was also met with a lot of the mentors from like all the other companies. I ended up making a lot of connections with people at J&J and at Amgen. And it's crazy because I did not actually make a lot of connections with people at Lilly, but I wanted to be there just because I could sort of feel their spirits. And that sounds really crazy, but the company has a way that's very apparent. And so I believe that having mentors from all of these industry leaders being able to look over my resume and do practice interviews with me from an experience industry standpoint instead of, I was very lucky. I loved both of my advisors. Our career development, my group at the University of Rochester was great, but none of them had industry experience. So having that experience and people being able to tell me like, this looks like an academic wrote it. Like, no, like you need to emphasize this and, show your leadership capabilities. And I think that like as an academic, we really don't get the emphasis on soft skills. And it's really, really important in industry. Like Dusty said, is the nuts and bolts. So I'll say that's been my experience while I was in the program. I'll say after, SMDP has advantaged me in my career to no end. I'll say even earlier today, I was talking to one of my supervisors and they're like, oh, like, well, how do you know? He called it his great grand boss. But it's like because you SMDP, the mentors are, these senior levels, then it's like I already have connections with these people because as Dusty said, these people, it's like they have a heart for it. And so when they find out like, okay, there's another scholar at the company, then everyone like rallies around you and you have a built-in community. I'll say what I really love for my experience is that for the 2023 cohort, I think when I arrived in a new city and all that, I would say maybe like 5, 6 people from my same cohort that I had fun with in Boston at the kickoff. We all ended up being in a new city together. So it was, again, like you have that built-in community of accountability, helping us move forward in our career, learn different parts of the business. It's really been a beautiful thing. That's why, Dusty knows I'm at a conference right now and I'm sick and I'm here because I think that it's really important that you guys like know about this program and apply. So.
Hey, Raven, thanks for being here. One of the questions that came in was, do any of the mentors offer advice on applying the medtech entrepreneurship ecosystems, such as medtech color, innovators, etc.? Either one.
MedTech color innovators. I think I'm unfamiliar. Dusty?
So yeah, so our students are, when we go to for the MedTech students that go to the MedTech conference, our scholars, at least every year historically, we've actually get invited to the MedTech color breakfast. So if that's something that you're wanting to do, or if you want to apply to MedTech Innovator at some point during your year, yeah, talk to your mentor about that. Like I said, they're there to support you on what your journey is. Not now. You do need to take their advice and at least listen and think outside the box and be willing to hear something different. But if those are things that you're interested in and you're really wanting to do, absolutely, they're going to give you some goals and some action items to help you accomplish that.
And look at that. I see one person's already started filling the application, so they're already one step ahead of
Love
most of it. So
it.
let's go, people. So Raven, I do have another question for you. When you were preparing to actually apply, did you have any hesitations or any like, maybe I shouldn't, oh, this is going to be too hard, too long. What were your thoughts about the application process when you first started?
Well, the application process, honestly, so it was very easy. And I just, had to write a narrative. I honestly, my main apprehension was that I had never heard of it. It was just something that I saw on LinkedIn. And so I'm like, well, I'm not sure if it's going to be like worth my time. And then like being able to like, have my advisors go over everything. But it's super easy. Like it's just the one narrative. And I'm sure you all like, if you've like done anything, like been put up for any awards or applied to anything else, it's basically the same type of thing. You're just talking about yourself, but I think what's most easy is that they really like emphasize like putting yourself into the narrative and not just like making it your resume in paragraph form. Yeah.
Excellent. This is good. I do just want to share one other person that's not here, that, has been a part of this program, Roma Perez. She unfortunately couldn't make it this evening, and she, again, like her colleagues, was also involved in the SMDP program. And she's graduated in 2023 in BS Biomedical Engineering at the University of Miami, and she's part of MedTech Women's Mentorship Program Committee, and initiated the start of the first university program. So you can learn a lot more about her. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it this evening, so I wanted to make sure that we at least share that information with you guys. Again, having these scholars tells you a lot, right? That, it's a very simple application process, and we can really kind of open up your opportunities to get more. And not just for you, for your colleagues, your friends, anybody that's interested. You don't want to do the program by yourself, right? You might as well invite one of your best friends, be like, hey, you should join the program. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to add like it, so we say it is a very competitive to get into, but you will like we've had it where roommates have gotten in it at the same time, or friends have gotten in it. We've even had boyfriend and girlfriends go through different years, like, and now they're married and have a kid. Like, it is, when I say that we are a family, I do mean it. We work really hard. When you're there in person, it can be overwhelming. I'm sure Raven and Matthew will tell you that it can get a little overwhelming. We pack a lot into a short period of time, but we also play really hard while we're there. We go out dancing. You'll go on a yacht. We're in Boston and San Diego, so one of the nights we have a big reception and we go out on a yacht and have dinner and dancing. It's very interactive training. You don't just sit there and listen to a lecture the whole time. It is very interactive. You'll be sitting with your mentor. You'll get to ask questions of the panels that you hear. So I think, like Raven said, like she was sitting there going, I don't know if this is going to be worth my time, but yet it was life-changing. So with it being such an easy application, I guess my question is, what do you have to lose? And you have a lot to gain. That's my advice.
all right, so we're going to open up for questions, even though you guys have been asking questions, to see if anyone has any additional questions. You can see the dates here, June 14th and 19th, which is around the corner. It's in one of my favorite cities, Boston, Mass. And then the MedTech Conference is October 3rd through the 8th in San Diego, another one of my favorite cities because I love playing pickleball. And,
It's a good
San
place
Diego.
to play.
Exactly. Any questions from the audience? How many people are actually filling out the form, or at least starting the process? Let me know.
Right. They're all filling it out so they
They-
can
they-
ask.
they're
I'm
too
trying
busy.
to think of other stuff. Who should not apply? If you're already working in industry. If you're already working in industry, there's not really a point for you to go through the program because that's what it's about.
What if you lose your job, Justy?
Yeah, if you lose your job, absolutely apply.
There you go. Another question.
Is there any advice you all could give to curate a strong application? I could let them answer what they think, but they don't really, I mean, they didn't select themselves. I definitely don't have any grammar. Here, let me turn my camera on. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's all
I
good.
turned it off. Please use grammar and spell check. Don't do that. Make sure you put the correct program name. That has happened because someone used Chat GPT, and I don't care if you use it, like whatever. If you need a little help zhuzhing up your stuff, just read it before you submit it. And again, let us hear a little bit about yourself. Tell us the whys as to why you want to go into biotech or medtech industries. We'll take about 90, hopefully, to 100 applicants for biotech this year, and probably around 40, maybe 50 for the medtech. Even though the application deadline is April 4th for both programs, we will notify the biotech students the end of April, very beginning of May. And then the medtech, you will not hear probably until end of August, beginning of September. So, but the deadline is still April 4th for both programs. If you're one of those people that applies to both, We select the biotech first. So if you are selected for biotech, I remove your name from medtech. But if you don't make biotech, I make sure your application stays active for the reviews of the medtech program. What if you were working in industry but aspire to land a better role in biotech? Um, I mean, it can't hurt you to apply, right? Worst case scenario, you won't get in, but it doesn't cost you anything to apply.
Nope.
So go right ahead.
She just mentioned there's tons of positions open, tons of spaces open. So we have enough people. If everybody applied, I think you guys might get a chance to actually get in.
Yeah, let's see. If I require visa sponsorship for now, can I still apply? Is that a major eligibility requirement in the application? It is the first round. It is the objective criteria is that you be able to work in the United States without needing visa or sponsorship. So you'll have to be cleared of all objective criteria before you get moved on to the second round of reviews. If there are some of you that have already applied for your citizenship or a green card, what I can tell you is go ahead, apply, but send me an email saying, Dusty, I've already applied for my green card. I'm just waiting, or, have my citizenship. I just haven't gotten it yet, that type of thing. I've been working at Boca Raton Regional Hospital for 10 years. I recently graduated from FAU in BMC. Is this for me? Are you wanting to go into industry or are you wanting to stay at the hospital? That would be my question. If you're just wanting to stay at the hospital, maybe not. But if you want to go into biopharma or medical devices, then yes.
So it sounds like it's specifically for those industry spaces where growth is something you're looking for, or support, or guidance, so that you can deepen your skills in those spaces. That's who this is targeted for, right?
Yeah, I would say so. And like I said, you're part of it's not just a year-long program. Yes, that is what you're committed to and required to report on once a month. But I'm sure, well, I know Matthew does because he's still technically in the program. His year's not completely up. But Raven, you still talk to your mentor, right? Do you still talk to your mentor?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So I would say the majority of our scholar mentor pairs still stay in contact even past their year. So they'll be able to help you even when you are at a position and help you work and navigate what that looks like. They don't just drop you after the year and say, bye, see you later.
You guys have some amazing questions. I know we're a little over, but I think it's good to have these questions. Get them out of the way now so that when you're doing the application, you don't have to worry about getting the wrong answer.
Yeah. Yeah. And you guys can always reach out to me. Like you can text me. Just please don't text me without telling me who you are. Just be like, this is so-and-so. I was at the NSBE HISIG meeting. Let's see. I'm a junior in biomedical engineering at UT Austin and plan on doing a PhD after undergrad. Should I still apply? Again, y'all are going to hate my answer. It doesn't hurt you to apply. If you know 100% that you're just about to start your PhD, you can still apply, but they are going to look at that because even though we do take undergrads, they want you to be able to go to work fairly soon, not 6 years down the road. But like Matthew said, if he had done it a couple years earlier, it would have helped him. So I think if you're even slightly interested, I say just go ahead and apply, you guys. It can't hurt you. Like I've had people that it took them 3 years to get in, but it doesn't hurt you. And then you're on my radar. So when next year's applications open up, I'll reach out to most people and say, hey, our applications are open, apply again this year, And please connect with me on LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn. You guys can find me. I'm the only Dusty Lynn Savage out there. And that way you'll see when our applications go live.
Excellent. These are great questions, Dusty. And thank you for bringing the troops. Raven showed up. Matthew showed up. Roma even showed up, even though she wasn't here. So I appreciate all of you guys. I know there's any other questions. This is good content. Just going to go on once. I know you guys can't speak, so it makes it kind of hard. So I'm just watching to see if anybody's starting to type. So
I did kind of want to add something, just like, again, emphasizing like the different times that you can apply, like in your grad school, like your education. So like I applied, I think I did we did the SMDP kickoff like 2 weeks after I like did my like graduation ceremony. And so I got a job during the like towards the end or like the midpoint. I would say that around the same time as Matthew during the midpoint of my fellowship. But now, since I'm on the other side and like essentially helping SMDP scholars get exposed to Lily, then I've learned that if you want to do internships and more short-term like rotations, especially for like PharmDs and things like that, then doing it maybe 2-3 years before you're on the job market is also very valuable, because then you'll have more opportunities to actually be eligible for those types of opportunities that you wouldn't if you were, a few years out, maybe a year after graduating. So yeah,
That's
just
a good point.
apply.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear it, folks. Just apply. This is great content. And again, round of applause for Mr. Matthew Shirley, Ms. Raven Osborne, and Dustin Savage. This is good content. And I think your contact information, you guys are all on LinkedIn, correct? We can look you guys up on LinkedIn. I think getting your insight and feedback will be huge for this program. And, want to make sure that you're recognized for it, and hopefully you'll meet some of these people that are applying. Maybe they'll come back next year and have the same conversation.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm seeing applications come in, so I'm going to assume they're from this meeting. I'm seeing like 4 or 5 have already come in since we've been in this meeting. So
that's awesome. There was a question: can an LOR come from a supervisor that is not academic but industry related?
Absolutely. Yep.
What's an LOR?
Letter of recommendation.
Oh, see, this is what happens when you're in the industry. You lose all the terms. I'm learning.
Yep.
Relearning. Great question, Delana. All right. So with that, I just want to make sure that we give a shout out to the HISIG Executive Board. We are the team that puts this together, and appreciate the content that you have to share. I know we have Kyle here, who's our director. He's been a part of making sure this thing happens. The team itself has been responsible for putting on programs. We have a lot more programs coming up, and this is one of the big ones. Right after NSBE Gold, it was important for us that the leadership make sure that you know about the SMDP program. And we strategically put it out 2 weeks in advance so that you have time to get it done and get that information over to you. We want you to be out here and have those stories just like Matthew and Raven and Aroma. It's powerful. As far as the ecosystem, we're going to keep reaching out to the region. So if you're part of one of the regions, and if you know who the regional leads are, please share this with them so they can get it out to their members or those universities in that space. Remember, you still have 2 weeks. All the flyers, all the information is on the LinkedIn, and we have access to it. And we want to make sure people are aware. And if you are interested in being part of some of the work we're doing, we still have opportunities to get involved in the healthcare initiative. Not only is it tied very well with SMDP, it also gives you an opportunity to be actively involved in making a difference in both NSBE as well as your careers. We're going to be bringing in folks from I can't remember all the names, but a number of different businesses. We're actually engaged with them to make sure that we are partnering with programs like Amgen and AstraZeneca. You'll see a lot of those happening over the week. So we want you to be a part of that. So make sure that you're aware of that. We do have a business meeting coming up in a couple of weeks, April 9th. So the reason why we held this meeting was because we wanted to make sure we met the deadline. So it's a great deadline, April 4th. Everybody's got that, April 4th. So you don't wait till the 2nd, don't wait till the 3rd, get it done now, and you won't have anything to worry about. So we're looking forward to having that happen. And that was one of the big events we have coming up. The only other one that I want to mention for folks is that we have, for those professionals that might be on this call, it might not be directed to you all, we have a professional development conference, but that won't be until August. We'd like to share that, and we'll probably share that on our next call, but want to make sure you're aware of that. And last but not least, just staying connected with NSBE HISIG. We have options through LinkedIn, Instagram. I know some of you guys got this through email. YouTube channel will also actually post this on the YouTube channel. So in case you want to share with your friends, you have that options. And then I'm going to lean to Dusty and ask her, what are the next steps? Where do we go from here?
Wow. The next steps. Oh my gosh. Well, I think
In terms
NSBE
of the
HISIG is
SMDP program.
well, I think NSBE HISIG is amazing, by the way. So I'm assuming everybody here, but we'll be sharing this with all our scholars that are a part of NSBE because HISIG is just phenomenal, and the way you support your members is amazing. Next steps for us. So, like Alfred said, we have 2 weeks. So I am extremely busy right now, working through all the applications that are coming in. If for some reason you guys can't have, you don't think you can get 2 letters of rec in the next 2 weeks, try to at least get me one. If you get me one, I'll at least let you sneak by. Hopefully, I might be able to give you an extra day or two if you've already have all the other stuff in. Just stay in contact with me. That's the important part, is just stay connected. And so next steps are hopefully, I'm hoping that all the HISIG members that apply can get in, and then we can have like this big, huge HISIG reunion at SMDP Biotech and SMDP MedTech. Like, how fun would that be?
And
Yeah.
you mentioned letters of recommendation. Again, a lot of the HISIG members you may already know, the executive board, some of them are professionals. If you do actually need something, feel free to reach out to any of those folks on there that are professionals. They'll be willing to kind of look at your situation and give you that feedback as well. It may be a great opportunity to make a connection as well. Once again, thank you to our team. Thank you, Dusty. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Raven, for being here and being a part of the program. We hope to hear more from you guys in the future, and we'll allow you guys to enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks,
And
guys.
thank you guys for having us. Thank you so much.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Bye.